Judging often starts with a document, a written standard, a list of descriptions, sections, and priorities. On paper, it looks clear, almost straightforward, but reading a breed standard is not the same as understanding it, and understanding it is not the same as applying it, because a standard is not meant to be read like a checklist, it's meant to be interpreted, and how we interpret it changes everything that follows. So the real question isn't what the standard says, it's how we read it, and what we do with what we think it means.
Many misunderstandings in judging begin at the same place, with the way breed standards are read. Some people approach a standard as if every line carries equal weight, as if all traits should be checked, counted, and scored one by one. But breed standards were never written that way. They are not inventories. They are structured descriptions with intention. Certain elements matter more than others. Some traits define the breed, others support it, and some exist only in relation to the whole. Reading a standard correctly means recognizing hierarchy. Not everything is equal, not everything deserves the same emphasis, and not everything visible should dominate a decision. Not all traits carry equal weight. When judges ignore that hierarchy, something subtle happens. Decisions begin to drift, not because the standard changed, but because the reading of it did. A standard is designed to be read as a whole. Structure, type, balance, expression, movement. These are not independent items. They inform each other. And when one element is isolated and overvalued, the picture starts to distort. This is why experienced judges don't ask, "Is this trait present?" They ask, "How does this trait function within the whole cat?" The standard must be read as a whole. This kind of reading takes practice. It also takes restraint, because it's often easier to focus on what stands out, on what is dramatic, on what immediately catches the eye. But breed standards are not written to reward the loudest feature. They are written to protect balance. And that balance is rarely obvious at first glance.
So when people say, "This cat follows the standard," what they really mean is, "This cat fits my reading of it." And that's an uncomfortable thought, because it means two judges can read the same standard, look at the same cat, and still emphasize very different things. So how do judges avoid projecting personal preference onto something that is supposed to be objective?
This is where responsibility enters the picture. Judges don't just apply standards, they translate them. And every translation involves choice: what to emphasize, what to downplay, what to tolerate, and what to resist. The danger isn't interpretation itself. Interpretation is unavoidable. The danger is narrow interpretation, when one idea, one feature, or one visual trend starts to dominate the reading of the standard. Narrow interpretation reshapes breeds. Over time, that narrow reading becomes familiar. Familiar becomes expected. Expected becomes normal, and normal begins to feel correct, even when it slowly moves the breed away from function, from balance, or from health. Judges often don't notice this happening, because it happens gradually, decision by decision, final by final, comparison by comparison, not immediately, not dramatically, but cumulatively. And that cumulative effect is where real influence lies. Reading a breed standard well is not about precision, it's about judgment. It's about knowing what truly defines the breed and protecting that definition over time. Judges who understand this don't chase trends. They don't reward exaggeration just because it feels impressive. They recognize when emphasis has shifted too far, and they quietly correct course. Not with speeches, not with rules, but with consistent decisions. The future of a breed is shaped less by what is written, and more by how it is read. Again, and again, and again. How we read breed standards determines what will be repeated next.